And so we have now been recently notified by the medical examiner's office that they are pretty definite that it is not Andreen McDonald that we located. And so my homicide unit, as you can imagine, is heartbroken for the family. They just notified the family of Ms. McDonald that it is not her remains, and so the search continues for Andreen. They haven't slowed down one bit. As I mentioned, we were operating under the possibility that this was not Andreen, and so we certainly were not ruling that out. And so while we remain resolute to continue the search for Andreen and continue to try to find closure to her family, we now have another family that we need to try to identify this other victim and try to bring closure to another family who has yet to be identified. What we do know about this, the remains that were found, they were heavily charred. They have been there for what we believe to be at least several weeks. And what we do know about the victim at this point is it is a female, believed to be somewhere between the heights of 5'2" and 5'4". We don't know much about race or body type, build, anything of that nature. And so what we're doing now at this point is we're reaching out to any area law enforcement agencies that might have a missing person that might fit this general description, and start trying to help us fill in the blanks. We would also ask the public, renew our request from the public for any information on Andreen McDonald's case or this new case that may be able to help us identify who this other woman is, to please give us a call at 210-335-6070 or email us at bcsotips@bear.org. I'll open it up to whatever questions you might have.
Los resultados dicen que no es ella.
Los resultados del médico ahorita dicen que el cuerpo que nosotros encontramos no es el cuerpo de Andreen McDonald. Hasta ahorita no se sabe quién es la mujer que encontramos. Sí se sabe que es una mujer, pero hasta ahorita no sabemos la identificación de ese cuerpo. Entonces nosotros les estamos pidiendo al público que por favor nos ayuden con información tocante quién pueda ser esta otra mujer, pero también que nos siguen ayudando con la búsqueda de Andreen McDonald.
The medical examiner was able to identify that this was not Andreen McDonald, most likely through dental records?
Well, through
for it to be that quick.
Well, for the height, for one thing. We know that Andreen McDonald was very tall, about 5'11". This body that we found is somewhere between the height of 5'2" to 5'4". Just not there. Additionally, there were some other identifying factors that we wouldn't disclose at this point, but that we're fairly certain this is not Andreen McDonald.
Sheriff, outside of the charred remains, have investigators been able to identify any other signs of foul play with this body, gunshot wounds, knife wounds?
No, at this point, no, sir. At this point, all we have is very, very charred remains. You know, we've got, of course, the scene around there does have some signs that it was a pretty intense and pretty large fire that was used to dispose of this body. And so we would ask anybody that may have seen something out of place in the area. Maybe they saw smoke a couple of weeks ago from that general area. Maybe they saw a strange vehicle that didn't belong. Anything at all that might help us narrow down a time frame, you know, would certainly be helpful. This area is on the backside of Government Canyon Park. In fact, the fence line is maybe 30 to 40 yards from where this crime scene was located. It's in an area that's lower than the roadway and probably about 50 yards or so from the roadway itself. Yesterday, the person that found this was a hiker, so it's possible that there may have been hikers in that area. Possibly somebody that may make this route a part of their daily routine. Anything that they may have seen that may be out of place that they could report to us, we certainly would appreciate. And again, we would ask them to call us at 210-335-6070 or email us.
All right, that's Sheriff Salazar. I hope I said that right. He's not one of my favorite investigators that I've covered, but he has heart, I guess. He's saying that he is fairly certain. Another strange comment that is not Andreen McDonald. He's also saying that Andreen McDonald is very tall, and this charred body, they're going by the evidence that it is this person was 5'2" to 5'4" foot tall. And he said there's a few other factors that they can't mention right now. But I haven't heard anything about DNA or dental records. So, I mean, this makes sense that it's not her to me. I don't know about you guys. And that's why the video I made before, that I was happy that he made the comment that we're thinking it's Andreen, but it may not be, because he was talking at the beginning as if they were pretty certain this would be Andreen McDonald's body. But it didn't make sense to me for the fact that if they thought that she was charred, they thought she was charred at home. There was 2 fire pits that they found at their house. And at this site where this body was found, they're saying that the body was charred on site. It also doesn't fit in with the information that they have at the moment. So, it sounds like it probably isn't her. So, that's good. And in a way, it's good, I guess. But like I feel, and some of the comments that I'm reading is, you want closure for the family, but you also want to find her alive. And that's it's a difficult way to think. You're wanting to find her, but you're not wanting to say that you don't want to find her deceased. Now, I've been I'm recording this on the go, by the way, guys. These stories are coming out one after another. You can't keep up. But according to the clues that we have so far and I think the most important clue is the timeline, the day the cops come out to their house. That timeline of where around 1 p.m. he arrives to the McDonald's house, when Andreen's mother is already there, the cops are already there, and a few friends are there. I'm not certain if the daughter is there at that moment or not, but we have read when the cops show up, the daughter runs into Andreen's mother's arms. And at some point, their friend of Andreen's from the gym, I believe the manager of the gym, because I don't have my notes in front of me, records that the girl, she mimics as if her mother had trouble breathing, which kind of support the fact of why Andreen's gone. But I have not heard, when we went over the GPS information, whether or not security cameras at Camp Bullis was able to support the fact that Andreen McDonald went to Camp Bullis or not. I think that timeline on March 1st is the most important asset to this case, and we're not hearing anything much about it. I'm not even seeing police actually follow that timeline very well. Now, I have not heard anything about the security cameras catching Andreen McDonald on base. Has anybody else? If you have, comment below, please. Because I don't know anything on that. I can't find anything on it. People I've spoken to, they do not have any information. Now, he was a cyber warfare engineer, so which means he could spoof information if he wanted to. Spoofing information, especially GPS, is leading people to believe that you went to one spot, but you went to another. So that's why that's important to me. Did they see that he was at Camp Bullis? Because, I'm going to say it again, that timeline is probably the most important. to find out where Andreen is. Not only that, did Andreen ever really leave the home? Well, they did find evidence in a car of blood, so there's a possibility, yes, she left the home. They also found a shovel that had fresh dirt on it. Is it a distraction, or is it something he actually used during the disappearance of Andreen McDonald? Well, one thing I would have done is tested the dirt myself and try to match it to the area. Because one thing they mention is that they believe that she's been charred. There's 2 fire pits in the yard. They find the first one, the first search. They find a zipper, but there's nothing else more, according to what we know, found. The second fire pit, they examine that and they find that only papers and other items were burned in there, but they don't say what. It doesn't seem to be any signs of Andreen being charred in these fire pits. So now we're left with coveralls, plastic bags, a shovel, and a few other tools for clues on the Andreen McDonald case. And you have to ask yourself, did they test the coveralls? That would be important. And what would he need the coveralls for? Usually coveralls are used for something like to keep chemicals or something like that off your skin. It can also be used as a way to deal with water. So muddy areas or something like that. So perhaps maybe it's a water or muddy area, which is hard to find in Texas, but there are a few spots. Did he use chemicals? Well, there's no evidence of that at the moment. I've done some research on dissolving human remains, and you can dissolve a human pretty quickly with the right chemicals. In fact, there's a case, you can look it up on my videos, where a father actually did that to his own son. But Andre didn't have as much time as this guy, and like I said, there was no evidence of chemicals being used. Yeah, this is a pretty tough case, simply because Andre learned real quick that he needed to keep his mouth shut. And so that hurt the investigation pretty good. And the lack of witnesses and security cameras in the area. You would think that the military base would have had security cameras, but we're not hearing any information on security cameras on Camp Bullis, which I think is really important. They have security footage of him at one of the stores, and it doesn't really go into details of what direction he left the store or come into the store, so we are left out of that picture. Anyways, there's a few people that I was reading, they're relieved that that was not Andreen's body that they found. I mean, I kind of suspected it when they said that the body was burned on site, because the fact that they believed that the body had been burned possibly on the property. So I guess the people that have been out there searching their buns off will still have some work ahead of them. Now we're at the point to where we need to figure out whose body is recently been dumped out there and burned. So Texas actually has several missing persons. I just haven't had time to keep up with them all. So one woman is this special needs woman out of Bexar County, and she's been missing a few weeks now. She's a possible victim that they're describing, because she's, I think, 5'5". These are just a few examples that I'm showing you right now of young females or older females that have gone missing that fit into that height. So whoever it is, I hope that they find, the closure to whoever's family member that is, and I wish them the best. But I wanted to share a video of Andreen and McDonald before I shut this down.
Well, it's finally over, and as predicted,
I did come in before he did.
right, Andreen did defeat me, and she is so excited. But I promised and delivered a defeat. Signing off Facebook.
So I've watched this video a few times, and I think they're the most adorable couple. And I wonder how in the world it could have escalated to what it is today. So for those of us out there that have been really in this story, doing what we can to help find her, well, the job's not over, guys. You still have some work ahead of you, and we appreciate everything that all these volunteers and everything have done, the police have done, everybody involved, including her friends and family. So let's cross our fingers and hope the best. And I've got to go for now, but I guess we'll find out more information on whoever they found within the next few days. See you guys later.